Folks, Valentine's Day is almost here, and it falls right in that awkward period when you're still paying down the debt from your Groundhog Day fancy hat parties and about to drop a fortune on your President's Day festivities. What to get your wife, girlfriend, or lifelike sex robot? What to get your boyfriend, husband, or that guy at the coffee shop who you still haven't talked to? Maybe you're considering buying a star. Well, that's bullshit. I once bought a star for someone I loved, and it was all wrong. I was expecting a rather large box, hot to the touch. But instead, I got a certificate and a crummy sky chart. Lame. Valentine's Day gifts are tough. Don't buy a dream catcher. Seriously, what are those things? I hear they're supposed to clear harm out of the air as you sleep, but I only ever see dream catchers in cars, hanging from rearview mirrors. How's that helping you? Or anyone else? By the way, I know a guy who has fallen asleep at the wheel at least 3 times. Once of those resulted in a rollover accident, and he's currently running multiple restaurants in the Northeast. So, safety first, but maybe safety's overrated. I don't actually have any suggestions. Try spending time with people you love, rather than buying them flowers that'll die and candy that'll give them diabetes, cause them to lose a foot eventually. Or just give them cash. Everyone loves cash. I dare you to send me hate mail for suggesting that anyone would be disappointed if you gave them the cash equivalent of a dozen roses and a steak dinner. So let's pause right there. Welcome to Please Excuse My Dead Aunt Sally. Brought to you today by Cash. Remember that stuff? We are also sponsored today by Las Vegas Prepaid Bail Bonds. Hey, are you considering coming to Las Vegas? Do you plan to be a jerk while you're here? Consider prepaid bail bonds. For just 30 cents on the dollar, you can ensure that when you are pulled down from that bar for dancing topless, or drug out of a casino for eating chicken fingers at a blackjack table, your time in jail will be limited by the time it takes to run your serial number. And they'll see that you planned for this. So threaten that Uber driver with confidence, thanks to Las Vegas Prepaid Bail Bonds. You don't need that shit. Right up until you do. This week we're going to forego the listener letters, as everything I've received recently has just been threatening and riddled with obscenities. If you'd like to have your question read on the show, write to pleaseexcusemydeadantsally@gmail.com. And now, something from the archive. I arrived home one Thursday evening to find that someone else had been there. A Chinese food menu had been placed in the door jamb. Also, the door had been kicked in. I scanned the menu for evidence. It was like a riddle. I had never ordered from this restaurant, nor had I ever heard of it. But the food options, they looked identical to those I was accustomed to. The mystery deepened as I realized that every clock in my house had been stopped at 10:03 a.m., except for the coffee maker, which was the correct time, but 20 minutes faster, because that's part of the complicated strategy I use to trick myself into waking up on time, except for the days when Wait a minute. The refrigerator was open. Someone had rearranged a full carton of eggs, or at least it appeared that way. Just then it occurred to me that I hadn't seen my dog. I checked until I found him, there on the floor, in the laundry room. My dog Vincent explained to me that he was one of the dogs in the painting of dogs playing cards. Shortly after the portrait was finished, he went deep into the negative and took out a line of credit from a bulldog who was off to the right of the portrait. That's stage right, assuming those details are important to you. The loan had come due, but he was spending all of his money on fancy collars and treats. He had been hiding out at my house and apologized for bringing trouble to my doorstep. I told him not to worry about it. I love Vincent anyway. I also told him once he settled this debt, he's going to have to start paying rent. That was 6 years ago. He has not missed a payment. and he doesn't make any dishes. That's all for today's show. Join me next week when I interview seafood chef and known ginger sympathizer Carol Danebeer about her recent trip to Baghdad. Music for today's episode was Back Bay Lounge and Man Down by Kevin MacLeod. Keep writing in and leaving those nasty reviews on iTunes. And please follow the show on Instagram at Please Excuse My Dead Aunt Sally.
Hey, you're a fucking idiot. We're all doing that. Bye-bye.